it's happening to all of us. We're all getting older. And, which is okay, because, you know, it means the alternatives, right? And so aging, it happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us, too, but I'm not really worried about those people because they suck at it. And as much as I try to ascribe to the age is just a number thing, I can't help getting bummed out about it. You know, when I look in the mirror and I see my grandmother staring back at me, or when the light catches the tinsel on my head just right, and I spend the next 20 minutes obsessively trying to pull it out with tweezers while frantically texting my stylist, begging to get in for a root touch-up ASAP. I try not to act my age, but sometimes it just happens. I can't help but yell at the kids to get off my goddamn lawn. I cringe at the auto-tune crap my preteen nieces are all amped up about. And I feel genuinely homicidal every time a millennial says something like, "I'm Felipe," or worse, "Who's Paul McCartney?" And worse is when someone you work with says something about their mom's 40th birthday party and then rubs some salt into the wound with, "I can't believe my mom is that old." Meanwhile, I'm like, "I was in first grade when your mother was born, you little turd." I know I'm not old in the truest sense of the word. Truthfully, I'm really just ascending the foothills of middle age. But the world around me is definitely trying to make me feel my age. For the first time in my life, I actually feel a little out of touch. I see hot young guys and realize it's actually creepy for me to find them attractive. I'm no cougar. And then there's this stinging realization that they're not looking at me at all anyway. I'm invisible. To an entire generation, I have aged out of visibility. I made the mistake of walking into a hot topic recently. I was in there to look for a gift for one of my aforementioned auto-tune-loving nieces, and the first thing that happened was that my ears started to bleed. And I began to slowly die with every step I took past skinny jeans and handkerchiefs mislabeled as tops. And I realized I had become my mother. There were two kids working, but no one noticed me. They continued their conversations between themselves as if I were nothing more than a breeze blowing through the new Tyler Carter t-shirt collection. Who the fuck is Tyler Carter? He looks like a tool. Anyway, I decided to refuse to participate in the lie of auto-tune as musically legitimate, and I walked out as anonymously as I walked in. I think I might have gotten an anemic side eye roll from the girl with the pink hair and the lip ring, but I couldn't be sure. I was actually tempted to fill my bag with a bunch of bedazzled skull headbands and duct tape wallets and knit hats, just to see if anyone noticed me walk out with a bunch of stuff. There's probably a fantastic markup on that shit on eBay. But I gave up when I went to Spencer's and I bought my niece a fart piano instead. Because despite being 45 on the years on this planet, my brain is stuck on age 8, and there's pretty much nothing funnier than vacuum humor. That's normal, right? My body, however, doesn't care. It's a loud-mouthed and obnoxious know-it-all blowhard that resists just about every effort I make to fight the fight. I try to placate it and appease it by dressing in clothes from respectable stores like White House Black Market and Calvin's, but that's not enough. Oh, you want to drink more than 3 drinks tonight and still believe you can function normally tomorrow? Fuck you! You'll be useless for a solid 36 hours. That's 12 hours for every drink. Bottoms up. Oh, you want to eat that ice cream sandwich? Fuck you again. Here's 10 pounds and it's never coming off ever again. Yum! My metabolism is all like, yeah, I'm tired of this shit. Eat what you want, go to yoga every goddamn day if it makes you happy, but I'm not losing a fucking finger. And then, just in case you've forgotten how old you are, here's a hot flash and a batshit crazy motherfucking temper tantrum that will make you throw cookware at your boyfriend for asking when dinner is. Woo! Little aches and pains that used to go unnoticed and now cause for alarm. I've never been a hypochondriac. In fact, I've traditionally been a tough guy when it comes to self-diagnosis, treatment, and recovery. But now, a slight pang or twinge sends me into a spiral of, what the fuck is this, am I dying? A pain in my chest means I'm having a heart attack! But then I remember every time I've ever gone to the hospital thinking I was dying, they just gave me a Xanax and sent me home. So no, I'm not dying, I'm just neurotic, apparently. Evidently, when you enter middle age, you stop being an Irish workhorse and become a Jewish mother. Who knew? Anyway, gravity has taken over. I live in fear of the sun, never walk out of the house with less than SPF 50 on. I spend hours trying to figure out how to convince my insurance company that a facelift is medically necessary. Because sagging jowls really can cause severe headaches, right? Because looking like my grandmother causes undue mental anguish that impedes my quality of life. Because I've aged out of my career as I fight for jobs with kids literally half my age, and it's creating a financial burden. Yeah, I know, it's bullshit. I'm not really going to do it, but it does give me something to fantasize about instead of strangling my annoying coworker in a perimenopausal rage. At my last optical appointment a few months ago, they told me I need progressive lenses. Not progressive in the good way, like forward-thinking, liberal, freedom, social justice, reform, progress, progressive. No, like bifocal progressive. And because I wear contacts half the time, they told me to go get some drugstore readers to wear also. So my life now can become a non-stop performance of me pulling my glasses off, putting them back on, doing that close and far thing with or whatever I'm reading, peering out over the tops of them saying, I'm like 5 minutes from becoming my elementary school librarian. I already own a cardigan collection that rivals Mr. Rogers. What's next? A beaded chain for the glasses? No beaded chain yet, but I did continue down the road to Elderlyville last month when I became the proud owner of 2 brand spanking new hearing aids. Seriously? What the fresh fuck else now? A hover round? Depends. Shuffleboard tournaments? Early bird specials? Bedtime at 6 p.m.? Truthfully, that last one doesn't sound so bad. And you know, being older does have its advantages, like not really giving a flying fuck what other people think of you. You recognize that style is more important than fashion, and comfort is no longer up for compromise, and you realize that you have finally become firmly rooted in your foundations. And speaking of foundations, there is one thing that has remained a constant in my life, regardless of my age, and that is my insistence on wearing comfortable underwear. You know that granny briefs aren't just for grannies, right? And boy shorts aren't really for boys. No. I'm not ashamed to admit that I am all about comfort in neutral colors and breathable fabric, with some control action happening because gravity. Now, you know, at this point in my life, there are very few things that blow my mind. Things that I just can't seem to wrap my head around, like quantum physics, Common Core, Trump supporters, and thongs. I wish someone would explain the whole thong thing to me, because honestly, I am a logical person, and thongs just do not make sense to me. I remember trying to wear one in an attempt to please a college boyfriend who said, "You look sexy in a thong." So, before our next date, I went to the store and I picked out a cute black satin number with flowers on it, along with a matching belt and a bra, and proceeded to be the most god-awfully uncomfortable version of myself I have ever been. My boobs refused to stay in the bra, instead pushing themselves out of it and forming an oddly shaped quad boob configuration. But that wasn't the worst part. I spent the entire day in perma-wedge agony, excusing myself at least 4 times to run to the bathroom and pull that goddamn string out of my ass crack. And by the time we got back to my apartment, my bum was so chafed and irritated that he got nothing but a peck on the cheek. My attempt at being sexy resulted in 0 sex. Now maybe I just have a particularly sensitive butt crack, but anyone who claims thongs are so comfortable is simply full of shit. I'm guessing perhaps this is because they're walking around with a fucking string lodged in the starfish all the time. But anyway, I just don't get it. There's nothing sexy about discomfort, nothing attractive about walking around like you have a stick in your ass, nothing respectable about picking your wedge, no matter how quietly you try to do it. Someone, a woman no less, and this is what started this whole thing, said to me, "I don't want to look at panty lines. Panty lines are so gross." Now, I wouldn't go so far as to call them gross. Fashion faux pas, perhaps, but gross, no. And the thing is that she was talking about not wanting to see women's panty lines at her gym. So I was like, really? If you're honestly offended by being able to see the outlines of another woman's underwear through her yoga pants, you've got some serious issues, lady. And furthermore, a thong at the gym? After the diplomat, I pointed out that thongs are pretty uncomfortable in the first place for some people, and maybe some women prefer to be comfortable when they're, you know, throwing their posterior in the air in downward dog or squatting with a 80-pound barbell, but hey, that's just me. Her response, and perhaps you can add this to the list of things that have blown my mind. Well, they should go commando. No, wait a second. Did I mention before that I'm a logical person?